and Siena. Let's take a look at the starting lineups for Monmouth. Of note, Micah Seaborn will start today. He is a first-team All-MAC selection. He's joined by freshman Malik Martin and Dion Hammond. Up front, the Tillmans, Austin Tillman and Zach Tillman across the front line. Siena will go with its nation-high 18th different starting lineup today in 29 games. That's #1 in the country. Kadeem Smith and Thomas Herter in the backcourt, along with Jordan Horn, Prince Oduro, and Evan Fisher across the front line.
Somebody that Siena did not have to face the first time around down in New Jersey.
Monmouth leads the all-time series 9-4. The most famous meeting by far was the MAC semifinal last year when Nico Clarith scored 27 points in the second half to lead Siena from a 17-point deficit back to beat Monmouth and go to the MAC championship game. Monmouth in the blue, Siena in the gold. Saints cause a turnover. Thomas Herter immediately the quick hands. And another turnover. Austin Tillman, the steal of the Horn entry pass. This is Micah Seaborn into the front court. Quick three from the corner is up and in for Dion Hammond.
You know, it's interesting. Both of these two teams have really struggled with turnovers this season. They're ranked near the bottom of the conference. Siena turning the ball over a little more than 15 times per game. Monmouth closer to 16. They both turn it over on their first possession. Of course, it was Monmouth's turnover, Siena's turnover that led to 3 points for Monmouth at the other end.
Just underway here. Siena 8-20. Saints have lost 4 out of 5. 4-11 in the MAC, currently in 9th place. Another turnover. Micah Seaborn into the passing lane. And he'll kick it out for another. Hammond 3 from the left wing. It's good. Dion Hammond, 6 points already for the Hawks.
Well, we said they don't shoot a tremendous volume of three-pointers, but they make a lot of them when they do. Off of turnovers in transition is often a good time to step back and attempt a three-pointer. They've done that 2 times on 2 trips, and Siena now giving up all 6 points off of turnovers.
Hammond had 14 points in Monmouth's last game against Canisius, had 4 three-pointers in that game. Horn attacks the rim, kicks it out for Herter, left corner 3. Long rebound hits the floor. It's run down by Austin Tillman, who's the team's leading rebounder at 6'1", 6.5 rebounds a game. Seaborn pulls up for 3, and Monmouth off to the huge start, 9-0. Monmouth averages about 7 3-pointers a game. Timeout Siena. They've already got 3 here in the first minute 50. Richard, who played just 9 minutes against Ryder last time out, did have a big game, a career-high 22 points in the game before that against Iona. And he replaces Jordan Horn. Alley-oop, Oduro had it knocked away, another turnover. Very, very poor start for Siena. Seaborn finally misses at the other end. The rebound brought down by Herter. Saints will run. Saints have had only 1 shot attempt so far and 3 turnovers.
That's the concern of the pass for the alley-oop is, generally speaking, it's either going to work out very well and you get a dunk or an uncontested layup, or if the pass isn't right on the money, you turn it over, which made it somewhat dicey to want to go to that in a situation knowing you're struggling with turnovers early in the game.
Second chance opportunity. Evan Fisher knocks it down.
That'll help.
Evan Fisher's been on a tear. Couple of threes against Ryder in a 10-point effort. 39% three-point shooter at 6'8", the junior from Pasadena, Maryland.
And of course, backing up the game before Ryder against Iona here at the Times Union Center, what Evan Fisher did. 5 for 5 from the field in the first half. Didn't score the second half, then took over in overtime and led the Saints to victory.
Nice lefty hook for Zach Tillman. 5th-year senior, averages 6 points a game.
Fisher 2 big three-pointers in overtime of the victory over Iona.
So Siena 4-11 in the MAC, 9th place. Monmouth 1 spot ahead in 8th place at 5-10. Hawks are 9-18 overall, have lost 5 out of 7. Smithen too strong with a 3, a rebound, run 4, and a foul on Thomas Herter. Be his first. Friday into the game for Siena, replacing Oduro. Siena has played well at home of late, have won 4 of its last 5 here at the Times Union Center. 7-6 here at home this year, but just 1-14 in games away from the Times Union Center That's the bad news. The good news is the MAC tournament will be played here again this year in 11 days.
Over the last 4 or 5 seasons, the two teams that Siena has struggled with the most in this building in the regular season, specific to Monmouth, has been Monmouth and Iona. Siena exercised one of those demons in the victory against Iona on Monday, but Monmouth has won 8 out of 9 against Siena in the regular season since the Hawks became a member of the conference.
Herder out of the game, and Asante Shivers will check in. Shivers averages 9 points, 4 boards per contest.
And Shivers did lead the way for Siena in their game against Monmouth back in January. Scored 12 points off the bench in a losing effort.
Long rebound of the Fisher miss, run down by Seaborn, who looks pretty healthy from what we've seen early on. Averages 15 points a game. Nice pass down low from Martin, who missed the layup. Tillman follows it, rebounded by Friday athletically. Richard on the run for the Saints.
One more. Post up, Sammy. Good, I roll. Work, Sammy.
King Rice was very cautious with bringing Seaborn back. Didn't want to make the mistake of bringing him back too soon. Recognizing where they were in the standings, they weren't competing for another regular season championship. So while he potentially could have gone at home against Canisius on Friday, decided to give him a little bit extra rest. In fact, he was still a game-time decision coming into this one.
Friday goes over the back, and that will send us to a timeout. First foul on Sammy Friday. Quick start for the visiting Monmouth Hawks. Final regular season home game. Wonder if that little one will be back. Might be a little bit past bedtime for that young one. And then at St. Peter's on Sunday. Monmouth has 2 games left against conference-leading Ryder at home on Thursday, and then at Fairfield on Saturday.
Bedtime's got to get extended the closer you get to March, right?
Indeed, and this 2 o'clock start, haven't had a huge amount of those this year, so a nice chance to bring the kids out. Good crowd on hand here today. One of the bigger ones we've seen this year, as the tip of the Hammond miss is rebounded eventually by Khalil Richard. Oduro and Horn both back in the game for Siena. Oduro and Friday, the 2 big men inside. Siena with 3 points so far. Alley-oop is snuffed out nicely by Diego Quinn, and a foul on Quinn. Saints have tried that play a couple of times so far. The backdoor lob has been sniffed out well by the Hawks. Good take by Sammy Friday, drawing the foul on Quinn, his first.
And for the last couple of weeks now, Coach Jimmy Patsos has looked for ways to try and get Sammy Friday more involved in the Siena offense. And really the mantra for the past couple of months has been working the ball to the interior, and they did so effectively against Iona in the second half. Prince Oduro had a big game in the paint.
Friday with 2 on the shot clock turns it over again. Siena's 4th turnover. Dion Hammond racing in one-on-one against Oduro. Blocked away. Loose ball to Asante Shivers for Siena. Saints on the run, 3-on-2. Good play by Oduro to block that without fouling. Shivers too strong. Good rebound by Horn, and then knocked to the ground. Another foul will be called on Diego Quinn. Quickly his second. Zach Tillman into the game for Quinn, who will check out.
Zach Tillman checks back in for Monmouth. Evan Fisher enters for the Saints.
6 points off turnovers from Monmouth early. Could have been 8 there, if not an unbelievably athletic effort to get back and come up with that clean block.
Siena 1 out of 7 from the field, 3 points in over 6 minutes so far. But Monmouth has gone a bit quiet with only 11 points here early on, maintaining a lead they've held throughout. Opened the game on a 9-0 run.
Plenty of time.
5 on the shot clock. Richard, foot on the line, jumper is good. Khalil Richard with a long 2.
When the shot clock is winding down and somebody has to put up something, Khalil Richard is the man you want to have the ball in his hands in that moment.
Siena's best one-on-one player will take it to the rim again. Scored and a foul. Khalil Richard, 4 quick points, and he'll go to the line. Ray Saunave just into the game, picks up his first.
And perhaps Siena's best player doing that as well, getting to the rim, improvising while he's in the air and finding a way to finish even against contact.
Louis Polari into the game. Third-year sophomore, averaging 8 points in just 17 minutes a game, along with Marcus McClary. Monmouth plays a ton of players. They generally play 10 or 11 guys in a given game. Micah Seaborn back in as well. Richard to the line, an 83% free throw shooter.
Back they go as deep as 12 sometimes, Robert. During league play, they've had 12 players averaging nearly 9 minutes per contest.
Monmouth has missed 5 shots in a row since starting the game 4 out of 5. It's allowed Siena to get back to within 4. Polari. Foul. Late whistle. Jimmy Patsos doesn't like it. Evan Fisher with his first.
Evan Fisher, his first person, and the third team.
Coach Patsos, and the keys to the game before the contest began, talked about putting Prince Oduro at the top of the zone, finding ways to keep the penetrators from Monmouth out of the lane, and so far they've done so effectively, forcing Monmouth's success from the outside. But it really goes back to the first game these two teams played in January, New Jersey, and Monmouth outpaced Siena 28-10 in the paint.
Polari is an 89% free throw shooter, as a step forward from relative obscurity to be a real key contributor for the Hawks as a sophomore. His first 2 of the game, and Monmouth breaks a long scoring drought. And scored a point in about just over 4 minutes. Down to 5 on the shot clock. Richard will look to create. Khalil Richard, tough shot. Got it to go. Khalil Richard gets buckets, 6 points. And he has a wide array of abilities to hit the bottom of the net.
You know, I wouldn't rely on that every single possession. However, it's a good weapon to know you have when you need it. And he's converted twice now deep in the shot clock.
Blocking foul. Evan Fisher to be his second. That'll put Polari back at the line. Bang, bang call there. Rob Riley, Jeff Anderson, Mike Pearson are officials this afternoon. That call made by Rob Riley.
Louis Polari. Prince Oduro checks in for the Saints, replacing Evan Fisher.
Chance actually for a 3-point play for Polari, as they call that in the act of shooting. So he's got 4 points now and a chance to make it 5 with a made free throw here. Fisher out of the game, Oduro back in. 5 points quickly for Polari off the bench. Hammond has 6. The first 6 of the game for the Hawks. Under 12 minutes to go first half. Monmouth has led throughout, and a nickel dimer on Ray Saunave, his second, will send us to a break. Monmouth with the early 16. But Siena has trailed throughout and continues to trail by 7. As Kelly mentioned, Monmouth did win the season's first meeting down on the shore, 67-56 back in late January. Richards got 6 of Siena's 9 points so far. Oduro in the lane, pushes it up from 10 and scores. Prince Oduro, the freshman from Toronto, is Siena's active leading rebounder and scorer amongst players who are actually in the rotation right now and not injured or off the team. He leads the team in points and rebounds. Ray Saunave has had a tough start to this game. The redshirt freshman from Elmont, New York, has picked up a couple of fouls and then turns it over unforced there. He averages 9.5 points a game, does Saunave. Richard, the corner 3, got the roll. 9 points early for Khalil Richard, who averages 8.5 a game. The sophomore from Baltimore, already above his season average midway through the first half. Siena now pulls to within 2.
Khalil Richard had a monster game against Iona last Monday here at the Times Union Center. Would offer 22 points, a career high.
Oduro rejects Saunave. Second block for Oduro, 8 on the shot clock. Evan Fisher will come back into the game with 2 fouls. Coach Patsos has never been one of those coaches who automatically benches a guy because he's got 2 fouls for the rest of the first half. But Fisher's got to be careful. He's been a very valuable player throughout the season, as a long 2 from Micah Seaborn gives him 5 points. Fisher playing with 2 fouls, as is Soundave. Richard feeling it a bit. Perhaps we'll look to get the ball back here with 7 on the shot clock. Now he's got it with 4. Khalil Richard, contested 3, he's fouled, and it hits the top of the backboard. He'll go to the line for 3. McClary, cardinal sin, fouling the jump shooter, his first.
You know, that's what happens when you knock down a few shots. Then all of a sudden the gap between the defender and the shooter has to naturally shrink, which creates a bit more of a chance that there's contact. And you can imagine if Richard wasn't shooting lights out already, that foul wouldn't have happened.
As we said, Richard, an excellent free throw shooter, 83%. Very quiet in that game against Ryder. Only played 9 minutes. All in the first half. Scored 3 points. Got a cut above his right eye. You can probably still see the bandage above his right eye right now. But sat out most of that game. Coach Patsos said it was a coach's decision not to put him back in. Didn't feel like it was in his best interest. And he's come out with a flourish so far today. A chance to make it 3 straight from the line. And he does. 12 points for Khalil Richard. Makes it 18-17. Midway through the first half. Wide open. Polari 3. Rebounded on the weak side by Herter. Chance for the Saints to take the lead.
Get it from him.
Oduro well away from the block. Oduro drives to the rim. Fade away. Well short. Tip the rebound out to Seaborn for Monmouth.
Hand up, Khalil. Hand ready.
Offensive foul on Zach Tillman as he ran over Jordan Horn.
He caught that pass on the run, and the focus on where the ball was coming from and not exactly what the roadblock was in front of him.
6 fouls now against Monmouth. Siena will shoot free throws the rest of the way. See if they can feed the hot hand, Khalil Richard. He's got it. Poor post feed is stolen away nicely by Zach Tillman, the 5th-year senior. Seaborn thought about the long 3. Fisher closed out on him. Good defense. And Seaborn will reset. Stutter step. Kicks it out from McClary. Buries the triple. Marcus McClary averages 2 points a game. His first 3 for the freshman from Linden, New Jersey.
And that's a dimension to this offense that Monmouth was missing without Seaborn. That assist that you saw right there, a lot of class in the way he was able to sell the fake, the stutter hesitation to get it to a wide open teammate.
Monmouth doing a good job denying Oduro the ball on the block. Horn, a long 3, buries it. Jordan Horn has been on a tear. Knocks down the triple there. His first shot attempt of the game. Saints back to within 1. Tillman gets Oduro in the air. Missed the lefty lane, but then tipped it in himself. Zach Tillman with 4.
The tipping was a lot harder than the layup would have been.
Tillman averages 6 points in 16 minutes a game. Leads the team shooting 59% from the field.
They had a monster game for Monmouth in their victory over Siena back on January 25th. 20 points in that one.
6 turnovers now for Siena as Oduro telegraphed that pass. When Siena's not turning it over, they're very efficient on offense, shooting 50%, including 3 out of 8 from beyond the arc, but it's been a matter of getting shot attempts. Tillman triple team, nowhere to go. 10 on the shot clock. Polari the strong take, rebounded by Oduro. Richard to a trailing Fisher, steps into a 3. Long rebound tracked down by Ray Soundave. He'll pull up from the free throw line. Volleyed in the air, and Herder athletically the rebound, and it's out of bounds to Monmouth. Timeout. A big win over Monmouth all the way to the MAC championship game. Siena lost a ton from that team. 4 seniors. Nico Clarith no longer with the team. Monmouth lost the best player in program history in Justin Robinson as a dunk there for the Hawks' Dion Hammond.
Yeah, but when you think about it, last year was really the culmination for both programs for a few years. They both had kind of pointed towards that season as being the year to try and get something done. Monmouth, as you mentioned, regular season champion. Everything that Justin Robinson was able to accomplish, but it was Siena that got the best of Monmouth in the MAC semifinals. But then at the end of the day, it was Iona that went back to the NCAA tournament for the second year in a row.
So both teams ended up coming up short of their goal, which was to win the MAC championship. It was Iona again as Seaborn missed the 3. Strong rebound, Evan Fisher, who just scored at the other end. Siena will look to push. Saints have never led in this game. They've been within 1 on a couple of occasions. Richard has had the hot hand, leads all scorers with 12 points. Pulls up for 3. He buries it. 15 for Khalil Richard, ties the game.
And now 5 of 6 from the floor, closing down on setting a career high in the first half. He's within 6 of that magic number. Just an unbelievable shooting performance from Richard and doing it from all different positions.
Nice post feed inside. McClary is fouled by Herder off the excellent look by Mustafa Traore from the top of the key. Second on Herder. Keep in mind, Evan Fisher continues to play with 2 fouls and has done so very judiciously.
Yeah, that's a good point. A lot of times a player comes back into the game with 2 fouls in the first half and they're very tentative. Hasn't been the case with Fisher. He's been smart.
Been in there for about 5 minutes now with those 2 fouls.
Absolutely, and is not conceding anything on defense and is obviously making his minutes count on offense.
Oduro in for Shivers. Saints with a bigger lineup now with Fisher and Oduro up front, including Herder at the 3 position. Herder at 6'7". McClary 1 out of 2 and a foul. And that's going to put Fisher at the line. And a chance for Siena with a couple of free throws to potentially take its first lead of the game. Diego Quinn in for Traore. Fisher is an 83% free throw shooter. He'll have 1 and 1. That was the 7th foul against the Hawks. Siena fell behind in this game 9-0 before the game was 2 minutes old. Trailed 11-3 by 8 points, I should say, after that. And now Siena has taken the lead for the first time with 5:40 to go in the first half. Hammond, quick fire 3, wide open. Rebounded by Oduro, alone under the basket. Prince will run it up the court himself. And get it off for Khalil Richard, who has 15 points to spark this comeback.
Monmouth starting to fall in love with the 3-point shot. They made their first 3, so you can understand from that perspective. But since just one of their last 5 from the outside.
That's going to be 3 fouls on Diego Quinn. So 3 fouls on Quinn now with 5:19 to go. He'll have to come out of the game. Oduro to the line. Prince, the freshman from Toronto, a 34% free throw shooter. Picture perfect on his first try. Kadeem Smithen in along with Zach Tillman. Prince, 34% from the line. Couldn't have looked any better on those 2.
Didn't touch the rim on either.
2 out of 2 gives Siena a 3-point lead. Hammond, another 3, as you said, and the long rebound run down by Tillman, and a foul on Smithen.
Early in the shot clock, too.
Always say, you can get that shot at any point during the shot clock. Work for something better. And yes, sometimes that shot does go down, but That's a shot that you're going to get at any of the 30 seconds of the shot clock. First foul on Smithen.
Now, earlier in the game, they made a couple of transition, and it's a little bit different. Once you have them set into your half-court offense, there's a better chance you get an offensive rebound in transition.
Good block by Herter on the drive attempt by Polari as the Saints forging ahead here by 3 points. Trailed by 9 early in the game. Oduro pushed away from the block, backs his way in, spins, fadeaway jumper, banked it off glass, rebounded by Hammond. Tillman on the run, like a bowling ball towards the basket, fumbled the ball, kicks it out for another. Hammond three, it's good. Dion Hammond's third three of the game, he's got 11. 4 out of 8 from the field and has not been shy. His third three of the game there.
He's now scored in double figures 19 times this season.
The freshman, Richard to the basket, nifty move, he scores. 17 first half points for Khalil Richard. Hammond's looking at Tillman saying, why did you pass me the ball there? I was ready to fire another one up. Hammond attacking the rim, blocked. Loose ball on the floor, controlled by Oduro. Saints on the run, Horn traveled. And a timeout. 7th turnover for Siena, but Siena has taken a 2-point lead.
The assistant coaches for Siena before the game, Robert, and they said if they had to pick one key above all else to success this afternoon, it would be assist to turnover ratio. It was abysmal in the blowout loss against Ryder. -3 at this point, 4 assists against 7 turnovers. And of course, to your point, they have the lead because they are shooting lights out from the field.
Have shot very well here at home, really, since that St. Peter's game. Another missed three-pointer by Monmouth. Austin Tillman, a poor three-point shooter. The quick shot there, 12 on the shot clock here. Six on the shot clock. Herter dribbles in, fumbled the ball, turns it over. 8th turnover for Siena. Malik Martin ahead for Tillman. Sizes up Oduro, scores and a foul. Austin Tillman's first 2 of the game and a chance for a 3-point play. Another turnover leads to an easy basket for Monmouth. 11 points off turnovers to 3 for Siena. Herter out of the game. In Jordan Horn. No, Jordan Horn in. Tillman, who we spotlighted in the open, had a huge game against Siena. 20 points. 7 rebounds, 3 assists, 6 out of 9 from the field, but has really struggled of late with a shoulder injury as he missed the free throw. Zach Tillman, the offensive rebound. He's only averaging 5 points a game over his last 3. Malik Martin tried the highlight reel jam. Instead, he was fouled as Friday would not end up on a poster. No, Prince Oduro, his second. He was cocking that back like he was out at the Staples Center last night. Do a little Donovan Mitchell style.
And now Monmouth the chance to double dip and points off of turnovers on this possession, right? They got the basket on the Tillman play, missed the and one, now collecting free throws, all set up from the turnover at the other end.
Oduro out of the game with 2 fouls. Fisher back in with 2 fouls. Malik Martin, a freshman from York, Pennsylvania, averaging 4 points a game, about 8 a game over the last 5. And he's got his first 2 here. And Monmouth regains the lead by 2. Closely played first half since that hot start for the Hawks. Offensive foul. It's going to be Sammy Friday, his second. So now Siena's top 3 big men, Friday, Fisher, and Oduro, all have 2 fouls. Herter back in. Quick run there for Friday. 2:40 to go. Polari, nice dribble, drive to the basket. Ball goes off 2 Siena players, and Polari's got it. Tillman behind the back to Zach Tillman. Oh, could not score. Ball went all the way around and out. But Tillman will go to the line after the 3rd foul on Thomas Herter.
That was a nifty pass, wasn't it, from Austin Tillman? And you spoke about his numbers against Siena earlier this season. At the top of the broadcast, we said that no player is any better in this league about doing a little bit of everything the way Austin Tillman is, averaging double-digit points, 6 rebounds per game, 6 assists per game, and you saw certainly his penchant for providing the nice pass there.
So Herder has 3 fouls now.
We got all day. Ain't nobody doing it. Thank you very much. Appreciate you.
Foul trouble, a real problem here for Siena in this game. Really, I would consider Herder a front court player. Right. So now you've got Siena's top 4 front court players all have at least 2, if not 3 fouls.
Well, that's exactly right. Herder, 6'7", and he can play pretty much any position for Coach Patsos, but you're right, he provides depth at the forward position for the Saints, and now add him to the list of bigs in foul trouble.
3 straight turnovers for Siena, 9 for the game. Saints haven't gotten a shot up in that span. Shivers to the rim. 10 on the shot clock. 2 minutes to go first half. Monmouth back up by 4. Fisher, long 3. Well off the mark, long rebound. We're going to say it didn't hit the rim. Shot clock violation, which will go down as another turnover. 4 straight turnovers for Siena, 10 in the game.
And then on the other side of that coin, Monmouth has been protecting the basketball. A couple of early turnovers, but they have just 4. And throughout conference play, they've been turning it over at the same frequency as Siena.
Tillman wrestles the ball away. Well long. Rebounding margin, which is the amount of turnovers you have versus your opponent. Siena has about 5 more turnovers per game than their opponents. That's in the bottom 5 in the entire country. Very weak spot for this Siena team, mainly because they force so few turnovers, in the bottom 10 in the country in terms of the number of turnovers they force per game. Almost another turnover. Instead, it's a foul. 3 on the shot clock. It'll be a foul on Hammond. It'll be his first. It'll put Kadeem Smithen at the line. Interestingly, Siena's in the bottom 5, I should say, in turnover margin. They're not last in the MAC.
Right.
Marist is actually the worst team in the MAC, substantially worse.
Yep.
Fisher out of the game, Kevin Degnan in. Degnan, the 4th-year junior from Pearl River, New York.
The foul was on Hammond, who was just playing hard and trying to get the basketball, and then ended up putting a little bit too much body on the free throw shooter in Smithen. But the type of play you'd expect a more experienced player not to make, considering there was 3 seconds on the shot clock. Smithen would have been receiving that in a very difficult position to try and get up a quality shot. So really Hammond bailing the Saints out there.
Manny Camper, freshman, into the game for the first time, playing in his 13th game this season. He'll get some run here in the final minute. He'll be at the top of the 1-3-1 zone. Richard at the bottom. Camper, a long, athletic player out there at 6'5". Monmouth recognizes the defense, now looks to attack, lobbing it over the top, back and forth. With 12 to shoot, Tillman, nifty spin move. Gets his own rebound, he's fouled. It'll put him at the line for 2. The foul is called on Smithen. It's his second, as he is now the 5th Siena player with at least 2 fouls. Put Tillman back at the line, where he's 0 for 1. 78% for the season. And that shoulder injury, something could really manifest itself when you're shooting the ball. He's now 0 for 2 from the line. Really hasn't been that close.
Yep. We've seen his vision has been spot on. Just a terrific rebound a second ago from somebody who stands 6'1", but it has been a struggle from 15 feet away.
0 for 3 from the line. And Siena a chance to tie or take the lead with 40 seconds left in the first half. Khalil Richard has been the man of the half for Siena, driving to the rim. Camper, he's fouled. Zach Tillman with the hack, his second. So Diego Quinn has 3 fouls for Monmouth. Tillman now has 2 fouls. Camper to the line, where he is 7 out of 13 this season. Play a bit against Ryder, 8 minutes, 5 points, 3 rebounds, well off the mark on his first free throw.
Camper only played in 4 games out of conference, and it was very much on the table that he would redshirt his first season, but ultimately went to Coach Patsos as the team was struggling a bit out of conference and said, I can make this team better. I can help. I want to contribute. Give me a chance. And when he's been in the game, we have seen what he's capable of so far in his young career.
First point of the game for Camper. Makes it a 1-point game, about a 6-second difference between the shot clock and the game clock. Saints mixing up the defense here, going with the 1-3-1 again. Inside, it's Zach Tillman to a cutting Austin Tillman. He's fouled. I believe it's going to be Sammy Friday, which would be his third. No, Khalil Richard. It's Khalil's first. It was Richard in there. He picks up the foul. 19 seconds to go, and Tillman back to the line where he just missed 2 a moment ago. Hammond leads Monmouth with 6. Hammond with 11. Zach Tillman with 6. And Polari has 5, as does Micah Seaborn. Austin Tillman is really struggling with that shooting stroke right now. 4 straight misses from the line. Horn in for Smithen. And this is something you file away if the game is close late and Absolutely. Austin Tillman's in the game, perhaps. He might be the guy to foul as he finally gets one to go. 1 out of 5 from the line. 2-point game in the final seconds of the first half. They look to trap Richard. Looking to speed up Siena here. A situation where the Saints were probably going to hold for 1. Instead, 4 seconds left, long 2 for Richard. And that will be the end of the first half with Monmouth leading at 36-34 in an entertaining first half.
Echoes something Marissa said as far as Monmouth and their need to try and slow Siena down from the field. This is a Hawks team. Their field goal defense, 43%, is second best in the conference, only to St. Peter's. And, of course, you know the reputation St. Peter's has in slowing the game down and limiting offensive opportunities for the other team. So this is a Monmouth side that, if you remember, playing Iona earlier this season at Iona, absolutely handcuffed them and beat the Gales, a team that scores, obviously, as well as any team in the conference. So Monmouth, from their perspective, needs to tighten things up in the second half.
Horn, good job keeping the Horn, Oduro keeping the Horn miss alive. Second possession for Siena. Saints led for only about 2 minutes in that first half. Monmouth for about 16 minutes. The rest of the time was tied. But Siena down by just 2. Chance to tie or take the lead here early in the second half. Second chance opportunity to start the half. Saints in the gold, Monmouth in the blue. Horn knocks it down. Jordan Horn with 5. Ties the game for the 5th time, 1 minute into the second half. Robert Lee, Kelly O'Donnell, Marissa Jackson, our entire crew with you from Albany, New York. Site of next week's MAC tournament, which starts a week from Thursday. Foul is called. Kadeem Smithen, his 3rd. Fouls will be something to keep an eye on. Siena has 2 players, Herter and Smithen, with 3 fouls. Oduro, Fisher, and Friday all have 2 fouls. Good job by Herter batting the ball out of bounds. Quinn has 3 fouls for Monmouth. Salnave and Tillman each have 2. Tillman starts the second half in place of Quinn. Actually, no, Tillman got the start today, not Quinn. So Tillman will start the second half with those 2 fouls. Another foul. Smithen, it'll be his 4th. He'll have to go to the bench here with 18:40 to go. And Khalil Richard will come into the game. 4 fouls on Smithen. 2 in the span of about 5 seconds. Wrong place, wrong time for Kadeem.
Of course, you could do worse than having Khalil Richard coming into the game right now after what he did in the first half. 17 points for anyone who may just be joining us. 6 of 8 from the field, 2 of 2 from deep.
Seaborn. It's Tillman to the basket. Well off the mark with that hook shot, and it's saved back inbounds to Horn by Richard, who is full speed on the run into the front court. Will now set up the offense. Saints a chance to take the lead, led by as much as 3 in that first half. Monmouth started the game on a 9-0 run. Inside for Oduro. Fisher, the open 3. He got it. Evan Fisher into double figures for the 11th time this season. He's got 10. Saints take the lead.
Siena 4 of 11 from the outside of the first half. Fisher 1 of 4, so his second triple of the contest.
Nice feed and a nice finish by Zach Tillman, who's got 8 points. As Monmouth with the 2-point answer. Monmouth 9 and 18 this year, 5 and 10 in the MAC, 8th place. Richard to the basket, too strong. Oduro follows it, too strong. Rebounded by Austin Tillman. Siena 8 and 20, 4 and 11 in the MAC, 9th place. Both these teams looking to build momentum going into the MAC tournament. They'll both almost certainly play on the first day of the MAC tournament next Thursday in the opening round. Zach Tillman, pretty hook shot. 10 points for Tillman, 7th double-figure game for him this season.
And assists for Micah Seaborn on back-to-back possessions. And Fisher hoists up another 3.
Long rebound and running it down is Hammond, and a foul. It pinballed between a couple of Siena players, and it ends up being the second foul on Richard.
We talked about it a little bit in the first half, and Seaborn, who had missed those 7 games because of a hamstring injury. Yes, he's the team's leading scorer at over 14 points a game, but nobody can see the floor for this Monmouth side as well as Seaborn can. So the fact that he already has 5 assists, no one else on the team has 2, just speaks to how much more efficient this offense is when Seaborn is in the game.
Manny Camper, who played late in that first half, comes in early in the second half for Prince Oduro. Seaborn, a first-team All-MAC selection last year and preseason All-MAC. First team this year, one-on-one with Herter into the corner from Martin. And all alone for the rebound, Jordan Horn, who's been quiet today. Just 5 points for Horn, who scored 18 in back-to-back games. Fisher thought about another 3. Instead, he'll drive down the lane. Pass tipped out of bounds to Siena. Plenty of time on the shot clock for the Saints. And as hot as Richard was early, he did cool off a little bit towards the end of that first half.
Yep.
Wasn't much of a factor. Look to get it started again as he'll hoist up a 3 and knock it down. Khalil Richard with 20, his second 20-point game this week.
And perfect from beyond the arc, 3 for 3.
Gives Siena the lead by 2. Khalil Richard averages 8.5 a game. The sophomore now has 20.
And his 3-point field goal make percentage coming into this game was 5th in program history. Of course, the sample size still relatively small. As Fisher's able to keep it in play. Richard 8th in the conference in shooting from deep at 42.4%. Of course, that number higher now, hitting 100% so far in this game.
Herter dumps it down low for Fisher. Horn, a 3. Halfway down, good rebound by Camper, and he's fouled. Foul on Tillman. It'll be his first. Austin Tillman will send us to a break. Saints have 1 and 14 away from the Times Union Center. Siena has 2 games left in the regular season, a home game against Fairfield on Wednesday and a road game at St. Peter's on Sunday. And into the MAC tournament a week from Thursday here in Albany. Herter posted up, kicks it out for Fisher, extra pass Horn, steps inside the line. Good fight by Herter. It's ripped away by Hammond, and Monmouth has it. Hammond was out of bounds. No, he traveled. He traveled. According to Rob Riley, the official. Siena with a win today would move into a tie with Monmouth for 8th place. Keep in mind the number 8 and number 9 teams play each other in the first round. It's really just a matter of who wears the home jerseys. And for what it's worth, Siena would own that tiebreaker at the moment if they were to win today by virtue of winning the tiebreaker with Monmouth if they were indeed tied. They would have split the season series over in back violation. Siena beat Canisius, which is at the top of the league right now, towards the top. And that would be a better win than Monmouth has going from the top down. Incidentally, the game of the year is in the MAC today. It's being played at the Bronx Zoo at Rider University. 16 minutes to go, second half. Ryder 49, Canisius 48. Those two teams tied for first place in the league at 13-2, which no one in the entire world would have predicted, including possibly their two teams. As Hammond knocks down a smooth jumper. Ryder picked 7th in the preseason. Canisius picked 9th. And those two teams are running away with the top two spots in the league at 13-2. Niagara 11-4 in third place. Iona scuffling. They're at 10-6.
Yeah, you really would have been picking with your heart if those were the two you had at the top of the table preseason. And even after Siena beat Canisius here early in the conference schedule, it still kind of felt like Canisius was going to come back down to earth at some point, and they haven't. And then, of course, Canisius got Siena in a revenge game out in Western New York a few weeks ago.
And Canisius just beat Monmouth in the Hawks last game, 78-60 in West Long Branch. Foul will be called on Quinn. And if it is on Quinn, it is. That'll be his 4th of the game. Prince Oduro back in. Quinn will stay in there with 4 fouls. Camper checks out. Game tied at 42. 13.5 to go. If Siena were to lose today, Saints would be in a 3-way tie for 9th. Also, last, if you want to look at it that way, with St. Peter's and Marist, all at 4 and 12. Horn, quick fire 3. Too strong. Herter the offensive rebound. Foul. Seaborn his first. Monmouth with 10 losses is only 1 loss behind 2 teams. Fairfield and Quinnipiac are 7 and 9. Tied for 6th place. Keep in mind the top 5 get a bye in the MAC championships. And the 5th place team right now is Manhattan at 7 and 8. So an outside chance that Monmouth could possibly sneak into the top 5. They'd pretty much have to run the table over their last 3 games to even have a chance. 5 to shoot. The pick and roll, Oduro, extra pass. 3 at the buzzer. Horn off the mark again. Saunave the rebound. Jordan Horn 2 out of 7 from the field. Saunave attacks the rim and scores. Ray Saunave's first 2 of the game gives Monmouth the lead. Oduro pounds it into the floor. Short push shots and air ball. Rebound out of bounds. To Monmouth. The scoring has slowed substantially here in the second half. Each team with 8 points. Almost 8 minutes into the half. Camper and Shivers in. Horn and Fisher out. Smithen on the bench with 4 fouls for Siena. Quinn playing with 4 fouls for Monmouth. Saints have missed 6 shots in a row. Have not scored in exactly 4 minutes. But still down by just 2. Oh, tough jump shot for Micah Seaborn. He's got 7.
It looked tough from where we're sitting, but the look on his face made it seem like it was just a walk in the park. He's that type of player, though, where he could do some very difficult things and make it look easy.
4th-year junior from Arlington, Texas. Struggled with injuries late last year. Did not play in that MAC semifinal game that Siena came back to beat Monmouth. Richard pounding the ball into the floor. Herter free throw line jumper. It's good. Thomas Herter's first 2 of the game. McClary in on the larger Oduro. Tipped and stolen by Herter. Outlets quickly for Richard. Khalil one-on-one to a trailing Herter. Nice feed down low for an open Camper who scores. Beautiful look from Herter. Camper with 3 points.
And let me walk you through the last 30 seconds of Thomas Herter Jr.'s life. Makes a nice 15-foot jump shot, gets only the 2nd steal of the game for Siena at the other end. Oh, by the way, he has them both, then gets an assist on Siena's next possession.
10 to shoot. Soundave rejected by Camper. That'll send us to a break. 10 and a half to go, tied here in Albany. They would have the season sweep over Ryder and not guaranteed, but be very much the favorite for the #1 seed in the automatic NIT bid if they don't win the tournament. Micah Seaborn buries the triple. 10 points for Seaborn. Siena, unfortunate timing for them as Seaborn came back from a 7-game absence today. Didn't play Friday, and as I always like to say, I'd like whatever happened to him on Saturday to happen to me because he wasn't good enough to play Friday, but he is good enough to play on Sunday. So he had a good Saturday, apparently.
Yes, he did.
Found the fountain of youth, perhaps. Oduro tips it in on the second opportunity. 6 points for Prince to go along with 6 rebounds. Polari, the open three, well long, rebounded smartly by Manny Camper, who tracked that ball. Herter the three, count it! Thomas Herter with 5 points, and the Saints take the lead.
Herter playing with a little bit of confidence now. Knocked down that jump shot a couple of minutes ago, has a couple of steals in this game, a couple of assists. Monmouth needs a timeout.
The Herter family will cause me to...
Could you imagine Bernie, though, on the dance floor?
Can you imagine me? Actually, the harder thing is to imagine you.
Fair enough.
Having been to a wedding with you before. 9:15 to go here, 10 on the shot clock. Monmouth with the ball, down by 2. Two on the shot clock. Shivers the rebound. Great defense by Siena. Oduro has some space. Now double team, lost the ball. Tillman's got it for Monmouth. 2-on-2 break. Austin Tillman to the basket. Scores and a foul. Austin Tillman, I described him as a bowling ball. He's 6'1", 230 pounds, and when he gets going downhill, he's tough to stop.
Like that 15-pound bowling ball that I always try and pick up when I get to the alley and realize, nope, this is too much for me. Where's the 11-pounder? Yeah, he's exactly like that. But he's got such great touch around the rim with people that play his style of basketball don't always have.
Shivers the foul. It's his first. Fisher in. Horn in as well for Shivers. Fisher still has just those 2 fouls, which he's been playing with for about 20 minutes of game action now, so he's done a good job. No longer what you would consider in foul trouble with under 9 minutes to go. Tillman has struggled from the line, 1 out of 5, gets that one to go smoothly. He's got 6 points, and that 3-point play puts Monmouth back in the lead, 52-51. Six on the shot clock. Richards got it. Tagged by Tillman. Contested 3. Herter keeps the rebound alive, but Austin Tillman has it. Monmouth a 1-point lead as we come up on 8 minutes to go. Hawks looking for the season sweep. Austin Tillman leaves it for Zach Tillman, who scores in a foul. 12 points for Zach Tillman. Chance to add to that. To go here in Albany. Zach Tillman completes the 3-point play and has 13 points. 4-point lead now for Monmouth.
The Hawks shot just 35% in the first half, but 53% shooting in the second half, 8 of 15 from the floor.
Fisher ends the 6-0 run with his 11th, 12th points of the game. As Siena pulls back to within 2. It's been closely played throughout. Since Monmouth got off to that quick start, led by 9 early. 9-0 actually. It's been back and forth ever since. Played within about 5 points each other. Smithen back in the game with 4 fouls to Polari. 3-pointers, no good. Long rebound to Zach Tillman. Bullet pass to Austin Tillman. Zach Tillman dunks it, and a foul. Zach Tillman having a big game here. 15 points for the fifth-year senior.
Fortuitous possession for him. He was running the other way after the Polari miss. Looked like he wanted no part of that rebound. The ball happened to bounce right to him. He had no choice, and then happened to be in the right spot to receive that pass. Throw it down, +1.
It was the fourth foul on Thomas Herter, who has to check out of the game. Oduro out as well. Zach Tillman missed the free throw. He averages 6 points a game. His career high is 18. He's got 15 here with 7 minutes to go. Monmouth back up by 4. Fisher. Horn steps back for a tough three and buries it. Jordan Horn, silky smooth, has 8.
And the Saints want him to keep shooting, even on days when he's not bringing his best as far as field goal percentage. He's the guy that you want to keep putting him up. Now 3 of 8 from the floor.
Ray Saunave was left all alone, and he's got 5 points after that triple. Defensive breakdown for Siena extends the lead back to 4. Herter gets up to check into the game. 6 minutes coming up on 6 minutes to go. This crowd of over 7,000 being treated to a good one here this afternoon. Entertaining basketball. 3 on the shot clock. Shivers yet to recognize. Fisher will. He'll shoot a long 3. He got it. The team's trading haymakers here. Timeout, Siena. Evan with senior night, but Siena has no seniors, so there's no senior night festivities at St. Peter's on Sunday.
But as you were getting to, following the same script as the Iona game, 10 turnovers in the first half, and then just 2 the rest of the way. And that's exactly what the Saints have done so far this afternoon against Monmouth.
Tillman runs over defender and scores. 8 points for Austin Tillman. Extends the lead back to 3. Eight on the shot clock. Fisher has had the hot hand to Richard, late shot clock creator. Will jack a 3 and knock it down and stare down his defender, Khalil Richard. Career high, 23 points to tie the game. Set his career high 2 games ago, breaks it here today.
Breaks it here. He's 4 of 5 from deep. And just about anything he touched has turned to gold so far in this game.
Austin Tillman fouls out Kadeem Smithen with an unrelenting drive to the basket.
Siena shooting 43% from the game, and Robert, what the Saints have really excelled at so far in this game is using their shot clock but still getting quality shots at the end. So many times this season they've wanted to be deliberate, but we've seen shot clock violations or 4 shots with a couple of seconds left, but they've been able to manage their offense and still get really good looks deep like we just saw from Richard.
Seaborn back into the game for Polari. Austin Tillman has started to assert himself here in the second half. Had just 3 points at halftime and a foul. Saunave, his 3rd. That is just the 4th foul against Monmouth. Saints have 7. So Monmouth in the bonus the rest of the way. Siena still got a ways to go before they're shooting free throws after Monmouth fouls. Monmouth by 2. Tillman has 10. Austin Tillman has 10. Zach Tillman leads the Hawks with 15. Shivers push shot rolls around and in. First 2 of the game for Asante Shivers. Ties the game at 64. Good one here. The 8th and 9th place teams in the league playing. Certainly don't look like it. Both making shots and both trying to gather momentum going into the MAC tournament. Offensive foul, Zach Tillman. His 3rd. Just over 4 minutes to go. Fisher pops open, he's all alone. Seaborn up high for the rebound. Salnave on the run. Good play by Herter to knock it out of bounds on what could have been a Hammond trailing three. Under 4 to go, our final media timeout. 48%. Saints at 48% for the game. Monmouth 45%. And Monmouth has the ball with under 4 minutes to go. That was our final media timeout. Each team with 2 timeouts left. Monmouth owns the possession arrow. Monmouth into the bonus. Siena still got a ways to go before they get into the bonus. Herter picks up the steal off the sloppy Seaborn turnover.
Now the 3rd steal of the game for Siena. All 3 compliments of Thomas Herter Jr.
Just Monmouth's 8th turnover of the game. And kicked. Reset the shot clock to 20. It's Fisher, Herter, Horn, Oduro, and Richard. Richard's got a career high 23. Fisher's got 15. Horn with 8. Six on the shot clock. Horn, tough jumper, well long. Rebounded by Seaborn. Salnave on the run. To Hammond in the corner, a big 3. Rebounded by Herter. Herter's 4th board of the game to go along with 3 assists, 5 points, and 3 steals. Richard attacking the rim. Lost the ball, another turnover and a foul. It'll put Salnave at the line. 3rd foul on Richard.
And he so desperately wanted to take that back. You could see the look on his face as soon as he heard the whistle. No, I didn't mean to do that.
And it'll put Ray Salnave at the line. Salnave there for the first time today. He is a 74% free throw shooter. He'll have 1 plus the bonus. Missed the front end. Oduro the rebound, his 7th. Neither team has scored in the last minute. Who can make the plays down the stretch? Two and a half to go. Saints running the flex offense here. To the high post for Oduro. Spins. Tough push shot. Difficult shot. Saints getting one tough shot after another, if not turning it over. Austin Tillman, the rebound. 2:20 to go. Good defense by Monmouth here down the stretch.
6th rebound by Tillman, a team high.
He is the team's leading rebounder for the season. Seaborn sizing up Herter, shoots a 3. Out of bounds to Siena with just over 2 minutes to go. So it felt like that last media timeout at about 3:55 to go was setting it up for the finish. Neither team has scored since then.
That's right. Both of these teams have played in a lot of close games. Perhaps more losses than wins, just judging by the record. But Saints, for example, 12 games decided by 5 points or fewer. They're 5-7 in those games.
Same situation for Monmouth, 1-8. So Monmouth has really struggled in close games this year. Lost 8 out of 9 and decided by 5 points or less. Horn pops free. 7 to shoot. Horn gave up an open 3 a moment ago. Now he'll drive to the rim. Scoop it up. No good. Rebounded by Austin Tillman. 90 seconds to go. Great look for Horn, but couldn't finish. Tillman to the rim. Too strong. Tipped up by Zach Tillman. Ball volleyed around. Who's got it? Horn on the floor. Jump ball, and the arrow will favor Monmouth. Saints were trying to call a timeout, but couldn't get it.
Both teams with 2 timeouts left, and Horn is saying to the official, I called timeout.
Oduro back into the game with 1:20 to go. Horn out. It's also a fresh shot clock for Monmouth. Key possessions.
Tillman to trigger the inbound. He had a good look on that layup, but couldn't get it to go after Zach Tillman was able to clear the lane for him.
Austin Tillman, what is he not doing today? 10 points, 6 rebounds, 4 assists, and wiping the perspiration off the floor. That's terrific. They drive the bus back to the shore as well. 1:15 to go. Lob it down low for Zach Tillman. Double team. Crowd wanted to travel. 13 to shoot. Hammond. Good ball movement. Austin Tillman under the rim. Blocked away. Fouled. Prince Oduro. His third. It'll put Austin Tillman at the line for 1 and 1. Or was that considered a shooting foul?
Yeah.
It was considered a shooting foul.
Fans taking another look on the scoreboard. Still not convinced.
Exactly 1 minute to go. Horn in for Shivers. Austin Tillman dealing with that shoulder injury, which you see taped up as 3 out of 8 from the free throw line today. And he makes them both here. Has 12 points to give Monmouth a 2-point lead. Timeout. No. They stop play. Not sure what the call was there, but they stopped play after 6 seconds had come off the clock. So Siena will start it up with 24 on the shot clock. Saints in a scoring drought here, under a minute to go. Can Tyre take the lead? Looking to execute. Richards got it in the corner. Richard is fouled, but that's only the 6th foul against Monmouth. So Siena will have to take it out of bounds. The next foul will put Siena at the line. This is not a shooting situation. 39 seconds left.
I'm not sure Tillman meant to give that foul, but it worked out pretty well for the Hawks.
Incidentally, they reset the shot clock to 30. I was under the impression it should only go to 20 in that situation. Regardless, 8-second difference between the shot clock and the game clock. Richard sizing up his defender. Richard into the corner for Herter. Floating jumper. Tough shot. Thomas Herter has 7 to tie the game. Monmouth a chance to win it. Could it be yet another overtime here at the Times Union Center with 20 seconds left?
Gutsy shot for Herter. They had to get one up pretty soon to extend the game if need be. And that's a shot that is a lot more difficult than it looks. Not a lot of people can hit that shot with confidence anymore.
Seaborn missed it. Saints have 6 seconds left. 4 seconds left. No timeout. Horn, 2 seconds. Horn doesn't get the shot away. Saints wanted the timeout but didn't get it. They'll go to overtime. Another overtime. It was interesting as the tip is won by Monmouth as Seaborn stole it away after Oduro had tapped it back towards the Monmouth basket. Zach Tillman, hook shot.
Tough shot.
Volleyed up, and Zach Tillman somehow comes away with it between 3 Siena defenders. Austin Tillman slipped and fell. Goes to Salnave.
Yeah.
Zach Tillman over the back on the rebound. And that is going to put Siena at the line. And that's also Zach Tillman's 4th foul of the game.
Somehow Tillman falling down was able to get the ball to Salve. It looked like it would have been a relatively easy layup. And able to get it to go. Now free throws for the Saints.
It'll put Evan Fisher at the line. Both teams scored just 2 points in the last 4 minutes of regulation. As Fisher, as he did against Iona on Monday, draws the first blood of overtime. Zach Tillman out with his 4 fouls. Diego Quinn comes in with his 4 fouls.
First blood and subsequent blood for Fisher in overtime against Iona.
1 out of 2 for Fisher. He's got 16 for the game. Hammond all the way to the rim. Missed the layup. Rebounded by Herter. Thomas's 5th board of the game. Offensive foul. Prince Oduro, his 4th. Seaborn, Quinn, Austin Tillman, Hammond, and Saunay for the Hawks and head coach King Rice. Motion offense here with 12 on the shot clock. Seaborn, mismatch against Oduro. Shoots a 3 over him and knocks it down. Micah Seaborn with 13. Monmouth takes the lead.
Seaborn was calling for that ball as soon as Oduro went out on the mismatch. It was pretty obvious the way he sized him up that he was going to try and get off that 3. As you mentioned, Seaborn out to 13 points, one of 4 Hawks in double figures.
Fisher with the answer. Evan Fisher with 19.
This is his time, isn't it? Overtime belongs to Evan Fisher at the Times Union Center.
Seaborn. Rebounded by Horn.
It's too deep.
Under 3 to go in OT. Saints will call out. Look like a similar play. This time it'll be a high ball screen, not the same play from Oduro. Last time down the court, Fisher popped a 3. 5 on the shot clock. Horn. Stolen away by Saunay. 2-on-1 break with Hammond. Herter back, and Hammond scores. 15 for Hammond. Hawks take the lead.
Saints have been so good throughout the second half with ball security. Just 3 turnovers in the entire second half. The points off of turnovers in favor of the Hawks now 22-5.
Herter. Oh, Thomas Herter ties a career high with 9 points. Another floating jumper. 2 minutes to go here in Albany. Siena 4 and 11 in the MAC. Monmouth 5 and 10. It looks like zone defense now for Siena. As they get it down low to Saunay, he fell down. Seaborn hurt himself. Yep. Seaborn hurt himself on that attempted drive. Monmouth has a lot of timeouts left if they want to use one. Instead, it's almost a turnover. You could see immediately Seaborn sort of flinched. Yeah. He came into the game with a hamstring injury that's cost him to miss the last 7 games. 4 on the shot clock now. He's got the ball. He'll shoot a fadeaway 3. It's an air ball. Maybe grazed the iron. Oduro the rebound. Huge possession for Siena here. Can extend the lead with 1.5 minutes to go. It's Fisher, Shivers, Herter, Oduro, and Richard. 13 on the shot clock. Richard looking to go one-on-one with Tillman. That's been a good matchup. 6 to shoot. Richard high dribble. Richard pass shut off. Shoots it, desperation. Gets it up on the rim. Hammond the rebound. Monmouth on the run, 3-on-2. Saunay to the rim. He's fouled by Herter, who fouls out of the game. Got to give that foul in that situation, though. Yep. Can't let him score. Herter done. After a terrific game, he fouls out. You just got to protect the rim at that point.
The mistake wasn't there, Robert. The mistake was 30 feet up. And what I mean is that Siena's worked on this a lot in practice over the past month or so, and that's their transition defense. Too many times they've been beat getting back down the floor by the opposing team, and that was the case there. Monmouth just a little bit quicker getting out in transition, putting Siena back on its heels, and as you mentioned, Herter had to give the foul.
Ray Saunay is 0 for 1 from the line. Into the game, Jordan Horn.
Ray Saunay is the line. Monmouth is shooting 10.
Saunay on the season, 74%, can give the Hawks the lead here.
They have left so many points at the free throw line now. 13 of 22 as a team.
59%. Saunay a chance to tie the game with 57 seconds left. 6 points for the freshman. Ties it at 72 with 55 seconds to go. Seaborn stays in the game. Zone defense for the Hawks here in the final minute of overtime. 13 to shoot. Saints yet to get it inside the arc. Richard attacks the defense, gets it to a cutting Shivers, lays it in. Beautiful pass from Richard and a timeout. And Ray Saunay for the Hawks. Possession of the game here. Siena up by 2. Monmouth with the ball. Can Tyre take the lead with 23 seconds left? To Hammond. Wanted to pop free for a jumper.
Nearly walked.
Instead to Austin Tillman. Seaborn will pop a 3 for the lead. Rebounded by Shivers, who saves it back in bounds. Saunay has it. Shivers hacks him. Shivers saved it right under his own basket with 6 seconds to go.
Siena was a rebound away from probably putting this game away. Just couldn't squeeze it.
And now Ray Saunay will go to the line with 6 seconds left. He is 1 out of 3 today. He has to make both free throws to tie the game.
74% free throw shooter for the season.
Crowd getting fired up here. Saunay will have 2 shots. He makes the first. McClary in for Hammond. Horn in for Shivers. If Saunay makes this, it'd be a tie game, and Siena would have 6 seconds left. They do have 1 timeout to try to win the game on a last-second shot here in overtime. Saunay's second is good. 8 points for Ray Saunay. And a Siena timeout, which is Siena's last. And Fisher. Fisher will inbound the ball. Nobody will guard the ball. Siena does not have any timeouts left. Have to get it inbounds. So Shivers, he'll run up the court with 4. Shivers pops a 3 for the win. Off the mark, followed by Degnan. Double overtime.
Credit Degnan for crashing the glass.
Seaborn stole the ball away to get Monmouth the first possession. See if something similar happens here. No. This time Monmouth wins the tip, and Austin Tillman will have the first possession. Saints will own the possession arrow. Just underway, double overtime. Saunay made 2 clutch free throws at the end of overtime to force double overtime, and now fouls Shivers, which will put him at the line. 4th foul on Saunay.
You're right, 2 big free throws to get us to double overtime, but he's missed a couple of layups late in the game as well. That one's certainly not easy. But then the foul afterwards, Monmouth quickly regretting, I'm sure.
Shivers has not attempted a free throw today. He is a 71% shooter. This season, this will be 1-1. Asante has had a quiet game. 5 points now. Had 5 points also against Ryder last time out. Made only 1 out of 8 shots. 6 points for Shivers. 4.5 to go. Saints draw first blood in double overtime. Seaborn turns it over.
Ill-advised pass, trying to find the big man, Zach Tillman, underneath, but certainly low percentage from where he was trying to spot Tillman.
Eight on the shot clock. Richard crossing over to Horn with 3. Horn had it knocked away. Tillman the steal. Tillman going towards the basket. Scores and a foul. Austin Tillman, chance for 3. 4th foul on Richard. 14 now for Tillman.
we don't want to keep harping on points off of turnover, considering Siena's really done so much better protecting the basketball since halftime. But with that being said, the couple of turnovers that they have had in overtime now have been so costly. Now 27 points for Monmouth off of turnovers against just 5 for Siena.
That was actually Richard's 5th foul of the game, my mistake. So he fouls out with 23 points. He's also been Siena's primary ball handler, as Austin Tillman now has 15 points. And Monmouth takes the lead. So Khalil Richard out of the game now with 23 points, the game's high scorer. Somebody else will have to run the point the rest of the way. He is the 3rd Siena player to foul out. And that makes the regret on his foul a moment ago even more so, because you just let the guy score instead of fouling out of the game in that instance. Hammond, the foul, puts Siena at the line. 2nd on Hammond. And put Shivers back at the line.
Haven't talked much about Roman Penn, point guard for Siena, the freshman who suffered a season-ending injury to his heel a couple of weeks ago, but he averaged more than 32 minutes per game, so that's a lot of time to make up when you lose him, just that much more thin in the backcourt. More so now as he fouls him out for the Saints.
Christian Bentley just checked into the game for the first time, a freshman from Ontario, averages 11 minutes a game. Siena getting kind of low on numbers here in terms of players. 3 players have fouled out now. 8 points for Shivers, who's made 4 in a row from the line. Saints take the lead, 3:20 to go. Seaborn dribbles in on Oduro. Offensive foul on Micah Seaborn. And look who drew the charge.
That's right.
Just in, right into the action, Bentley.
Now that was a better take by Seaborn, a better pass. We saw last time trying to pass from the perimeter. That time was able to get into the lane, but just a little bit reckless in doing so. Bentley, a great take in drawing the charge.
Horn is fouled, and Tillman is fouled out of the game. It'll put Horn at the line for 2. Big game for Zach Tillman, 15 points, 7 rebounds, but he is fouled out of the game here in double overtime. He is the first Monmouth player to foul out of the game. And you have to think they may replace him with Diego Quinn, who has 4 fouls. He's kind of the other half of that center duo. And here he comes. He's got 4 fouls.
I'll tell you, Jordan Horn has gotten some extended work at the free throw line recently. He shot a physics of basketball video with Margot Hetzke of the women's basketball team. It was about free throw shooting. It was 60 seconds long, and it was measuring the arc of a free throw. Horn was the subject. He made them all, of course. There was maybe some editing involved. That one looked good.
Jordan Horn is a 77% free throw shooter. Freshman from St. Paul, Minnesota. Saints lights. Tillman near midcourt. Tillman drives towards the rim and foul. He'll go back to the line. Foul on Camper.
Tillman did a nice job turning the corner, giving himself the opportunity, a little daylight to go up towards the rim. And that's what enticed Camper to come over from the weak side and end up getting the body on him.
Tillman is now 6 out of 11 from the line, which may not sound great, but he missed his first 4.
That's right.
So he's found his stride from the line. He was 1 out of 5 from the line in the first half, and now has made 5 of his last 6. And has 19 points. It makes it a 3-point lead for the Hawks with 50 seconds left. Saints do not need a 3 here. Horn back in the game. Siena has a timeout left if they want to use it. 12 on the shot clock. Shivers going one-on-one with Saunave. Shivers is fouled. Saunave fouls out of the game. And it puts Shivers at the line for 2 huge free throws. 28 seconds left. Shot clock is off. Saints down by 3. It'll be on Shivers to make 2. And then Siena will go for the steal and or foul.
That was an easy call for the ref. Kind of that tomahawk chop down at the wrist as Shivers was cutting into the lane. Now Quinn was coming over to help defensively. You'd almost rather let Shivers go and see when you got the big imposing body. Quinn might be there to stand up and block a shot, force an awkward shot without giving up the foul. But as it was, Shivers is at the free throw line.
Awkward there as Shivers was about to shoot the free throw. They're now interrupting his routine due to a question about the substitution. Monmouth crisscrossing the lane. Shivers stepping back from the line momentarily, but certainly out of his routine a little bit here. Asante now 4 out of 5 from the line. Polari in for McClary. Shivers on the season 71%, 4 out of 5 today. Misses them both. Seaborn the rebound, they've got a foul. Seaborn is a good free throw shooter. Excellent actually, 87%. Big misses by Shivers. Saints have not made a field goal in overtime. All of their points have come from the free throw line. Put Seaborn at the line, who's an 87% free throw shooter. McClary in for Hammond.
Robert, you made a good point about the sloppiness, how awkward it was before Shivers was handed the basketball, and whether that would have made a difference, who knows.
You got to step back from the line there and say, we're going to restart this whole routine over.
I agree.
Seaborn makes them both. And it's now a 5-point lead for Monmouth with 26 seconds to go. Over first place in the league by themselves at 14-2. Canisius back to second at 13-3. Saints need to hustle here. 25 seconds to go. Bentley will take it all the way to the rim. Stop, score, and be fouled. Boy, that's the last thing you want to do if you're Monmouth is foul him in that situation. The foul is caught on Polari. It's his first. And now a possible three-point play that took about 7 seconds.
Quinn let him go. Quinn had given up on the idea of trying to slow down Bentley.
Bentley is a 56% free throw shooter who completes the three-point play. Into the game, Dion Hammond. It's a 2-point game.
Polari couldn't believe that Quinn was going to let him go, so kind of in desperation mode came over to try and slow him down. Strange.
Got to just let him score there. The last thing he wants is a three-point play. They get it in for Seaborn. He's trapped. Seaborn in trouble. Tied up. Jump ball. The arrow favors Siena with 16 seconds to go.
It looked like he might have traveled. It's worth a couple of seconds to see if we can get the ball back without sending Seaborn to the free throw line.
Fisher, Oduro, Horn, Bentley, and Shivers. Set play here. 10 seconds left. Horn to Fisher with 7. Into the corner for Bentley. Takes it to the rim. Almost had it turned over. Horn fouled on the 3. With 2 seconds left, or was it a 2-point shot? They'll have to go to the monitor.
They're gonna check.
It was a desperate 2 seconds left. This for the tie. If he misses, you must foul immediately. Timeout, Monmouth. Tie game at 85.
Boy, those 2 free throws could not have looked any better.
Pappas, a freshman, will inbound the ball. Monmouth does not have any timeouts left. Oduro guarding the ball. They get it in for Tillman. He'll dribble it up the court with half a second left for the win. No good. Triple. Overtime. Again.
Having fun yet.
tied at 85. We'll take a... This time Oduro wins the tip cleanly, and Fisher runs it down in the corner. It's Fisher, Horn, Oduro, Shivers, and Bentley. Saints, frankly, running out of players here in triple overtime. Expect to see most of these guys on the court the rest of the way. Zone defense for Monmouth. 15 to shoot. First possession of triple overtime.
Both teams could really free up some space underneath the glass if they could pick up a fifth foul on either Quinn or Oduro.
Desperation, shot clock violation. Saints never even came close to getting a clean look on the first possession of OT, and it's a shot clock violation as it didn't hit the rim. Monmouth's first possession of triple overtime. To shoot. Seaborn going one-on-one with the much larger Oduro. Gets by him, flips it high off the window, too strong, rebounded by Bentley. Good job by Oduro altering that shot, and Siena will set up its offense with under 4 minutes to go in triple overtime.
Alternating possessions into triple overtime, neither team's hit the rim. And get a touch for Oduro. I haven't seen much of that in the overtime, and as you mentioned, the big man Tillman already out, and Quinn playing with 4 fouls.
Great rebound by Tillman, and then Fisher body blocks Polari, who is down. Siena will have the ball, adding insult to injury as those two bodies collided, and frankly, Evan Fisher is a much larger person than Louis Polari. Ooh. Polari listed at 6'6", 200. Fisher 6'8", 230. Polari out of the game. Fresh shot clock for Siena, 3.5 to go.
It's been a struggle for Polari. 1 of 7 from the floor, 0 of 3 from the outside. Of course, that foul that Monmouth regrets in double overtime.
Shivers wide open. This time Monmouth clears the glass with Micah Seaborn, who is leading Monmouth in minutes today with 42 minutes in his return from injury, which caused him to miss the last 7 games. Fisher has played 43 minutes. Seaborn one-on-one with Oduro again, and he turns it over. Great defense by Prince Oduro. I mean, Seaborn's eyes are lighting up when he sees 6'8", 255 Prince Oduro, but Prince so agile for a big man as Seaborn goes out of the game.
And he's tried to force it inside a few times when he shouldn't have. That's the 5th turnover charged to Seaborn in this game. 12 for Monmouth, so nearly half of them credited to Seaborn, all in situations similar to that one.
Oduro double teamed inside, has the ball knocked away out of bounds to Siena with about the midway point of triple overtime, and neither team has scored. So if they say next score wins, doubtful, but you never know. 2:30 to go. Shivers has an opening, shoots the contested jumper and scores. Sante Shivers into double figures with 10. Tillman turns the corner. Tillman and Hammond by far the best scoring options on the floor right now for Monmouth. Hammond's got it. Tillman was calling for it. 12 to shoot, 2 minutes to go. Tillman barrels down the lane and draws the foul on Christian Bentley.
Christian Bentley. That's his second personal. Austin Tillman back to the line for Monmouth, shooting 2.
Tillman back to the line where he has been red hot. 1 for his first 5. Now 6 of his last 7. Seaborn back in for Polari. Tillman 19 points to lead the Hawks, 7 out of 13 from the line. and now has 20 points after he had 3 at halftime. 4th time this season Tillman has been into 20-point territory. Saints lead it by 1 with 1:50 to go.
I haven't talked about rebounding in a while. Mentioned is a key stat early in the broadcast. Siena is 8-5 when winning the battle on the glass. 0-15 when they're out-rebounded by their opponent. Siena with a 40-38 advantage at the moment.
Saints never get a shot up there as they turn it over on the traveling violation. 1:35 to go in triple overtime. (87-86) Siena. Saints 4-11 in the MAC. Monmouth 5-10. Monmouth won the season's first meeting, going for the season sweep. This one's going through Austin Tillman. He splits a couple of defenders. He bounces it awkwardly for Quinn, who's fouled. Good catch by Quinn in traffic. Evan Fisher, his 3rd. It'll put Diego Quinn at the line for the first time today. He has 2 points today. He is a 65% free throw shooter. He'll have 2 shots.
And well said, that was a tough ball to collect. That bounce pass in around the thigh.
Friendly roll for Quinn ties the game. Siena's 1 out of 4 in triple overtime as Quinn makes them both clutch shots. 1 out of 4 from the field with 2 turnovers. 1:10 to go. Saints down 1 now. Key possession coming up on a minute remaining. Fisher wide open, free throw line jumper, way off the mark, rebounded, and a foul. It's going to be called on Oduro. If it is, he is out of the game. Oduro fouls out with 6 points and 8 rebounds, and it will put Monmouth at the free throw line with just a tick over a minute to go. It'll bring Manny Camper into the game along with Kevin Degnan. No, it won't be Camper. It'll be Degnan as Saints go with the bigger player. Degnan has played 1 minute in this game. Dion Hammond to the line, a 66% free throw shooter. First attempt for him. He'll have 2 shots. And Monmouth, which was shooting very poorly from the line earlier in the game, cannot miss right now. Now 25 out of 35. Hammond with another chance. Rebounded by Fisher. 2-point lead, 58 seconds left. Saints have 2 timeouts left if they want to use them. Possession arrow favors Monmouth. 30-second difference between the shot clock and the game clock. Jordan Horn off the mark. Almost tipped in by Quinn. Now here comes Monmouth. 45 seconds left. 16-second difference between the shot clock and the game clock. Siena will play it straight up with 35 seconds remaining. Monmouth can take this down under 20 seconds. A score would make it a 2-possession game. 12 to shoot.
Saints have 2 timeouts, so if they can get the stop, still have 15 to 20 seconds. They could call a timeout if they wanted and set something up.
Seaborn out of bounds. He turns it over with 18 and a half seconds to go. Chance for Siena to tie or win the game. 15 seconds left. Horn taking his time into the front court with 12. Saints down 2. It's Degnan. Horn's runner is up and in. Ties the game. 4 seconds left, and they fouled. Oh, Asante. Check out after this first free throw. I think they're going to leave Shivers in. 2 free throws for Tillman. Got to make 1. And he does to give Monmouth the lead. Now, Siena has 2 timeouts left with 3.1 seconds to go. It looks like Coach Patsos wants them to call a timeout if he misses, which he did not. 22 for Tillman. They will not call a timeout here. 3 seconds to go. Saints a chance to tie or win the game. Fisher, baseball pass, tipped in the air, and a foul. with 1.2 seconds left. It'll put Tillman back at the line. And a chance for Monmouth to put this game away with 2 free throws.
Boy, what a great game. It deserved a better ending, and that has nothing to do with Monmouth winning. It's just unfortunate that it had to be decided this way.
Horn from three-quarter court. Monmouth wins it by 4, 93-89, in an ending that had to be seen.